Cute, amount your cute, equal of letter 763, not sign paragraph o stroke, R2 amount turn direct reflex quarter, e circumflex letter 3ca, paragraph o circumflex times o microcase dilo o amount, armenian cho letter GB pan sign degrees, or grov a amount your cute, equal of letter 778 cute, a copyright. Instead, she gets a farewell from Miss Essie. Oh dear. At the same time, Wang Jingwei was racing towards betrayal, and Mr. Yi was getting the heads up to skedaddle. Miss Essie didn't call because she was flirting with Mr. Yi. No wonder she was mad. Mr. Yi said he'd pick up her clothes, but vanished after days of silence. Clearly, her cover was blown. And then here comes Officer Cow, further confirming my suspicions. I knew you guys were fishy from the start. Honestly, I watched this farce. Mr. Yi went to Shanghai secretly, and Old Cow just wanted to cause trouble and see your tricks. He knew these youngsters were weak, or they wouldn't have come alone. But Quang and his gang, unaware, killed Old Cow to prevent planned exposure. Guan Yiming dropped the knife in nervousness on his first stab. He only succeeded in stabbing Old Cow's belly on the second try. Old Cow still struggled to resist. Then, like a horror film, Old Cow was stabbed repeatedly and had his neck twisted by Guan Yiming. Jaw dropping. Wang Jiaji couldn't face such a ridiculous ending and fled the scene. Given that her identity was blown, Miss Essie was fuming about her husband being. But why did Wang Jiaji invite Miss Essie to stay at her place after returning to Shanghai? Stay tuned for the deep dive in our next video. On her first date with Mr. Yi, Wang Jiaji noticed a thick layer of dust on the table. Considering the plot, she figured out that Mr. Yi's secret love nest wasn't located here. As for this place's purpose, Wang Jiaji's boss, Old Wu, had the answer. We have two outstanding female comrades here, both rigorously trained. Unfortunately, they both came up empty-handed. If not, Mr. Yi would have been well informed. Taking this into account and analyzing the final plot, Mr. Yi had known of Old Wu's existence for a long time, and they were even arch rivals. Old Wu would regularly send beautiful female spies to get close to Mr. Yi. After Mr. Yi scoped the place out, he was quite pleased, but the dust on the table indicated that Old Wu hadn't sent anyone in ages. So when he saw Mrs. Mai show up, he wore a grin, thinking, Old Wu really gets me. This kid actually brought my former boss. Before Mr. Yi departed, he glanced back. Wang Jiaji took the chance to fetch cigarettes for Mrs. Yi upstairs, and he followed. Busy, are we? You've lost a lot of weight. Wang Jiaji tried to butter him up, but Mr. Yi wasn't lowering his guard one bit. After a thorough inspection, he remarked, You've changed too. The former Mrs. Mai from Hong Kong could really use some training. That's why in her actions and demeanor, she looked like a bit of a naive student. Upon arriving in Shanghai, the assassination squad joined Chongqing's regular army, and Wang Jiaji underwent professional training, becoming wealthy due to Howard's support. That's why she looked like a wealthy young master, leading Mr. Yi to exclaim, You've changed so much. The reason Miss Essie brought Wang Jiaji home was mainly to find a compliant ally to tie up Mr. Yi's heart. In reality, Miss Essie has always been aware of her husband's little secret, but she's a very clever woman. In those days, not being able to have a child for her husband left her with a twinge of guilt, especially in the face of his rising power and charm. So, like an ostrich burying her head in the sand, she tried hard to maintain family harmony while turning a blind eye to Mr. Yi's infidelity. That's why Mr. Yi dared to feed Wang Jiaji at the card table, practically showing off their affection in public. Hong Kong differed from Shanghai. Though Miss Sio, Miss Shu had affairs, they at least respected political achievements. That's why when Mr. Yi fed Wang Jiaji, Miss Shu was caught off guard, and Miss Shu felt embarrassed. After that, she never invited Wang Jiaji to play cards again, but once in Shanghai, the situation changed dramatically. For those observant friends who have watched this play, you'll notice that Mrs. Ma and Mrs. Liu completely disregarded Mrs. Yi. Sometimes they directly challenged her authority, but thankfully Mrs. Ma was around to clip their wings a bit. So that's why Mrs. Yi said, You come here personally, and there'll be a place for you to stay. She knew she couldn't sway her husband's decisions, so she brought in this young assistant to be on her team. Speaking of this, we must admire director Ang Lee for integrating details into the story's logic without it, no later plot. So once Mrs. Mai moved in, Mrs. Yi began setting up opportunities for them. News today. Mrs. Liu asked me to play cards with her grandma. You want to make a guess go, right? I'm off today, might see a film this afternoon. Mr. Yi got their intent, as expected. Mrs. Yi even treated Mrs. Mai like a minor character, giving her hints on how to take care of Mr. Yi. You howling wolf, No, I have to summon my family in. What Miss Essie didn't know was that the wife she found for her husband was actually an enemy spy. Talk about a plot twist. Mr. Yi sent a car to take Wang Jiaji to the cinema, but the driver suddenly changed the route. 27 Meikai Party West Courtyard. After hearing this, the driver said nothing more and just refused to head toward the destination. Upon arrival, the driver handed Miss Esmai an envelope containing the room number and a key. Judging by his expression, the driver was really nervous, as the two previous female spies met the same fate. Meanwhile, Miss Esmai was completely clueless, thinking this was just ordinary cheating, despite her professional training. Indeed, while she was professionally trained, her alertness was still pretty low. Mr. Yi was intentionally lurking in the shadows to observe her behavior once she entered. If she slipped up, it'd be capture time. However, unexpectedly, Wang Jiaji exclaimed, "Don't scare me like that in the future." This wasn't Miss Esmai acting, it was her genuine